What's going on, good people? This is your boy Byron Scott back with another live, man. Here with my guy Cordero here to talk to you about wholesale real estate, man. Answer all your questions that you got. Today, we're going to specifically talk about how to talk to sellers because that's what me and Cordero was just talking about, man. How we going to, talk to these sellers about this new strategy we're trying to implement. You didn't watch Sean Terry talk on real estate disruptors, man. You gotta go check that out. Sean Terry, a godfather in the wholesale real estate game, talking about listing properties on the MLS, man, which is something that's tough, at least for people that hadn't done it, to be able to do that is huge. So it's a move we trying to make. But we're just going to talk in general how to talk to sellers. I know a lot of people always ask me questions. What do you say when the seller say this? What do you say when the seller say that? So there's a couple of different ways I like to approach this conversation. One, the first thing you have to understand is the general approach, because you won't understand how we talk to sellers unless you know the approach. You know what I'm saying? So first thing we're going to deal with is approach. The second thing we're going to deal with is actually the conversation. You know what I'm saying? How it should go, the generals of the conversation, not even necessarily the absolute specifics, but the generals of the conversation. So that's where we're going to go today. Y'all ask y'all questions, we're answering. What's going on, Ali, man? Ali tapping in on YouTube. What's going on, man?
Shout out Ali.
Yeah, Ali, man, up in this thing. You guys got any recorded calls to share or on the future lives? Man, we can do a call right here on the live, man. We'll go call some people, man. We'll find somebody to call. You got somebody, Cordero?
Yeah, we can find somebody for sure.
Let's try. Let's try to see. Oh yeah, you supposed to call Gettleman back like next week, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll find somebody to call. We'll call some sellers right here. So. If you're on IG, man, the full video on YouTube, so head over there.
Yeah, man. We can definitely find. Try one of these. I got
Let me find you some people to call. Let's find out some people to call, man.
What about Ruby?
Let me see. Let me find somebody to call.
There's a seller property, but she's open to discuss. Lady named Ruby Tyus. Tried calling her last week. She wants 250 to 270. The Zillow is 260.
Let's call her. See what she's talking.
Ain't much spectacular I can do with somebody like that, but we gonna see what she's talking about. I can show you my approach and how I would talk to a seller who's already off the rip asking for basically
too much
market value. Too much. You're right. Yeah. I'm using a smartphone, which is the phone, the dialing system that connects to your CRM Podio.
Hello.
Hey, sorry, I don't know if I had the right number. I was calling to speak to Ruby.
Yeah, this is she.
Hey, Ruby. My name is Cordero. I believe you were speaking to one of my representatives about your property. This was Laura. You were talking to her last week about the property on Riverdale.
Laura? I don't remember talking to her.
Okay. I think
I've been talking to someone, but that wasn't the name. I don't remember talking. I don't talk to so many people. I can't remember.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, she did give me your info. Said that you were, thinking about selling so you can move back to Alabama.
Yeah, but you connected with Josh with Josh?
Unfortunately, no. Is that someone else that you're talking to about selling the property?
Yeah, yeah, because he came out today. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, if you got him coming out, you are looking to sell this property, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What's your time frame? When are you looking to sell with it? If you already got, people coming out to look at it, you're thinking about moving back. When are you thinking about selling? What's your
In
time?
the next 30 to 60 days, because I got to get stuff together. Because I just decided, I've been wanting to sell, but I was trying to wait till I sell some land in Alabama, but I haven't sold it. But since my daughter went to school in Alabama, so I was like, well, I might as well sell and go on back home, because she had told me wait till she finished school, then she gonna turn around and leave me. And
No, she didn't.
Yeah. So she's doing her last year at Savannah State. She did her first 3 years at Clayton State University.
Oh, well, congratulations on that. I know that's big. What's she majoring in?
Performing art.
Nice. Do you know what does she know what she wants to do with that?
Yeah, she want to own her own dance studio.
No, gotcha. My cousin is also, she's off into that, and she just graduated not too long ago. So we'll see how that goes. I hope that, everything goes well for her and your daughter for sure.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And so this is, like you said, the next 30 to 60 days, you're kind of in that transitional period. You live in this home? This is the home you live in, or is it like an investment property for you?
No, I live in it.
Okay.
I've been in it 21 years.
Okay. Can you tell me, a little bit about the condition of the property today? Have you done any updates recently on the home?
Well, I did some updates, but that's been a while. But I'm not going to do any more updates because I'm not going to invest any more money into it. But from listening to the guy that come out today, he told me not to take less than $275.
Is he looking to buy the property, or is he a real estate agent looking to list it?
He's going to list it for me.
Okay. Gotcha. So...
Well, I haven't really gave him an answer. He come out today, they looked around and everything, left all this paperwork, because my son got to go out of town tomorrow, and then my son told him when he comes back, we'll get back with him the middle part of next week. So we haven't really, gave him a complete answer or signed anything.
Okay. And so you still haven't ultimately made a decision on that. And
I'm definitely gonna sell.
But if you're gonna list it with Josh.
Yeah, I haven't really made that decision yet.
Okay.
I need to do a little of my homework because I don't know much about the company. I need to pull up some stuff about the company myself.
Right.
This is the first time I ever heard of this little company. And he said he only been in business for himself about a year. So that's kind of I don't know. Gotcha.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Are you the only decision maker on this? Is there anyone else that would be involved?
Oh, no. When I paid this house off, my lawyer told me don't put nobody's name on my house but me.
Right. You make sure you don't do that.
Yeah. Because if you put anybody else's name on it, you're going to have problems if you get ready to sell it and they don't want to sell it. So I knew not to put nobody else's name on my house but me.
Yeah, if you're the only one paying on it, that's the only name need to be on it. Anybody contributing.
I paid this house off 15 years ago.
Really? That's nice. So you got some good bit of equity. So I was going to ask, when we go to the closing table, with whomever, but assuming we're able to purchase it, we don't need to pay off any taxes, liens, no mortgage or anything like that.
No, I ain't got nothing up against my house. I wasn't foolish enough to borrow nothing up against this house because I wasn't going to owe nobody nothing on it. I mean, the whole point, I was raising 2 grandkids. My husband passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Him and I had 2 grandkids we were raising, and at the time, they were just 4 and 5. And now they're 21, 22. But the whole point about it, I paid it off to make sure I had a guaranteed place for the kids and myself to live.
Right.
So that was one of the reasons I paid it off, you know.
Yeah, that's big. I know that's important.
I didn't want no mortgage payment with small kids. So, you know, you got small kids. And, you know, all the way through high school, they was in the marching band and this and in that. So, you know, that money was getting tight.
Right. Yeah. No, that's definitely big not to have to worry about that while you get bringing the kids
Yeah,
up.
I just don't want no mortgage payment. I didn't want a mortgage payment at all.
Gotcha. And so when you move, are you thinking about like purchasing your next property there or renting or?
Yeah, I wanted, they right there in Prattville, Alabama. They just built some condos around the water.
Oh, nice.
And I was there about a month ago to my sister's funeral. And they really nice. So I'm trying to decide if I want to go into something like that. Because at my age, I want to buy another home, but it's a lot of responsibility with keeping it up and stuff. You know, when you get to retirement age, you know, it's a lot come with keeping up a house. So that was one of the reasons I'm going to get rid of this house, because it's a lot to keep it up. I mean, I don't do yard work, so that means I have to pay somebody to do my yard. I've been paying the guy for the last 15, 16 years doing the yard. So, and he do a wonderful job to the yard because I got yard of the month, you know.
Oh, really? Congratulations on that.
But it's just a lot of work as you get older, and then especially being by yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I was absolutely. And I was going to ask you, I mean, had you thought about maybe moving to Alabama? And if you don't owe any money, had you thought about keeping this property as a rental? And, you know,
oh, heck no. I'm not going through that headache trying that people don't want to pay rent anymore. And then when they tear up the house, you got to invest your money back into it to get it fixed. I got to think smarter than that.
Right.
But I'm done with it. I see some rental homes, and I've been in people that rent homes, and I know one house in this neighborhood. When these rental people move out, that guy that owned the house just needs to set a match to it, because the whole inside of the house is tore up. I'm not going to say where, but I know one in this neighborhood. I promise you, when this person move out, they just need to set a match to it, because it's going to take a lot of money to get it back up to code and stuff.
Goodness. Oh, my goodness. And, the thing about us is we can purchase properties.
I would never rent a property.
Yeah.
I'd rather take my money and go on by my business and don't have a headache.
Yeah, I've seen some horror stories myself.
I mean, at my age, let me enjoy my money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's something I want to enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
That's why my son, they were pushing me to sell, because they was like, Mama, if you don't sell that land that you got in Alabama, and if you don't sell this house, we will sell it if something happened to you. So they were saying, sell your stuff, enjoy your money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the land sold too in Alabama. I got 2 acres there to sell.
Okay. You know, well, and I did want to ask you a little bit. I know we touched on the condition of this property, but I mean, what would you say needs to be done on it? You know, what about the roof and the HVAC, the HVAC unit?
I just had a roof put on in the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay. And what about the HVAC?
Everything works pretty good, because I have that First American, so if something go wrong, you know, they out here to fix it or whatever. So I don't have anything. I just replaced the hot water heater and that little round ball that's up over the hot water heater. I just replaced that in the last 6 months. Well, okay. I mean, First American replaced everything.
Okay. Gotcha. And so as far as I know you said you're not particularly wanting to do anything else on the property, which I understand.
Oh, no, I'm not going to invest any money into it. I'm just going to sell it as is.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. Is one thing about us, Ruby, is we work with what we are is we're a service provider to our network of investors. And any one of our investors could finance the purchase of the property. What this allows us to do is we're not just one buyer with one set of criteria. We have multiple different, and it allows to be flexible with our multiple different criteria. We could, pay all cash. We can buy as is. We don't mind that at all. And, we buy all, different conditions of property. We're pretty flexible as that. And also as far as the timeline goes as well, this allows us to be a lot more flexible. We can do competitive cash offers in a certain time. Like if you said you wanted to close in 11 months, we could do that. or in the next 11 days. We can make that happen. And so I understand that you're wanting to do this in the next 30 to 60 days. And we don't really have like, obviously we can make that time frame work. But if you're not, we can buy as is, you're not wanting to do anything else to the property. But if you had unlimited money and time and resources and you just wanted to, what are some things that you would do to the property to fix it back up? Or is there any particular?
Really nothing that I would really do outside of the master bedroom. Need some new carpet and in the bonus room upstairs. I had took up all the carpet because I had started to replace all of this stuff, and I had took up all the carpet in this bonus room and on my stairs. But it's only just that bonus room upstairs. Then I decided, well, if I'm going to sell, I'm not going to invest no money, but I like the next person might not like it.
Right.
And so that's one of the reasons. Because, see, my daughter sold a home. And they talked her into doing a lot of work to her home. And she did. She invested a lot of money. And I tried to tell her not to. And when she sold that home, the people come there with a dumpster. And they just tore up everything that she had done. She had redone the kitchen, everything. They pulled all that stuff out. And that's one of the reasons I said, I'm not going to do that because I seen what happened to my daughter.
Right. And that's a big thing. And that's why we always let people know this is full disclosure. I do have to let you know this is, Ruby, we purchase properties, all cash. We are investors. We're not real estate agents. We are investors. And we are purchasing the property for the sake of making a profit, of course. Whether we buy it as is all cash and then we rent it out to someone, lease it, we flip it for a profit, or we list it on the MLS. We may list it on the MLS, and that's something that we would look to do as well. That's but we just let people know that because we are investors, we are obviously looking to make a profit. But if we can purchase your property, and maybe I missed it, what's the biggest reason that you wanted to sell this home, like instead of just staying here?
I'm getting older and I want to go be around my sisters. I just lost a sister, and I have 3 sisters in Alabama, and I just want to be with my family. I mean, I don't have family here. I have a son. He's here. He lives up in Latonia. And I mean, he got his own little family. So I just want to be around my family. I always wanted to go back home, even though when we moved here to Georgia, I always wanted to be in Alabama, but my husband wanted to be in Georgia.
Right. Is he from Georgia? Was he from Georgia?
No, he's from Alabama. He had retired from the military, but just as close as he wanted to get to home, he didn't want to be in Alabama.
Oh, I understand that.
But I always wanted to be in Alabama. So I stayed, I stayed here 15 years after he passed to make sure my kids, the grandkids graduated from school and everything.
Yeah, gotcha. So now it's time to go ahead and just,
the Lord let me do everything that I wanted to do. So now it's time for me to move on and be around my sisters because all of us getting older.
Yeah, good time to be around family. I know that,
I'm next to the baby, so that let you know. My oldest sister is 77, so I really want to, be around a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And it's always a good time to be around family, but especially now,
Oh, yeah.
And the world's so crazy these days, it's just like, and so if we could, or, I'm sure you, like you said, you're talking to other people to get the property sold, but if we could purchase the property and get you what you're looking for, pay all cash with no financing contingencies, which what that means is there's our lender how we get our money. Our lender isn't going to come in and say, well, you need to fix this and you need to put floors down before we can actually buy it. We don't do that.
I keep it before I do it in the deck. Right. I already told you. Anybody I talk to, I'm already saying, I'm going to let the house go as if I'm not going to invest anything in. I'll keep it before I have to invest a whole lot of money into it just to sell it. I just turn it over to my son or somebody,
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to let nobody just come in and just, well, really, I'm in control. It's my house. So I'm in control. So it doesn't matter what somebody else come in here and say.
Right. Absolutely. And it's
my choice to do whatever I want to do with it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
One company don't buy it, maybe another company might buy it. Okay. So I do a lot of homework and I study everything that I do. So it ain't just like I'm just putting myself out here and don't know the ropes, you know. So I do a lot of homework. I have friends that are into real estate too.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I was saying it's just like we understand that not, most people just kind of want to let's get you an out the door price, all cash. And we don't do any realtor fees. We're not going to do any rehab fees or anything like that. The number that we get you is what you walk away with. If we could buy the property and give you enough time to go ahead and get your next move together and in order. I mean, being able to sell this home and move on to retirement to be with your family, how would that make you feel?
Oh, I feel good if I can do that. I feel good. Anybody feel good if they can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just.
But, I'm not going to make any decision without my son because, like I said, he leaves. That's why we didn't make a decision with Josh today because he's leaving going out of town tomorrow. He won't be back till next week.
Gotcha.
And so because he helping me do this,
No,
and,
absolutely.
And I'm not going to make any decision without both of us, doing it together because he's more of a business person.
No, absolutely. And that's why I was asking who all ultimately is the decision maker on the property.
Well, he helping me out, but I'm the original decision maker because
Right.
his name is nowhere on the house.
Right.
I'm letting him be there for this, helping me deal with the business part of it.
Yeah, that's big because obviously I'm the real estate guy in my family. And anytime my mom goes to look at a property or just to know anything about it, she always comes to me and I'm going to make sure she's getting taken care of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I'm not going to,
Yeah.
I could say, you maybe call us back next week when he get in and when he's available. He don't live with me, but I could make sure he's here when you call. We could talk. He can hear you on the three-way.
Okay, now that'd be perfect. We could actually do that. And when did you say? When would be a good time to talk? You said next week sometime?
Yeah, he don't get back until around the mid next week.
Okay. Yeah. No, I do. I would like to talk just to see what, ultimately what sort of decisions, or what's helping him make a decision. What are you all really looking to get? What do you value out of selling the property?
I'm really making a decision, but he's listening in for business wise because he want to make sure that nobody's gonna really rip me off or just talking just to be talking.
Very, very important. Absolutely. And the thing about us, what we do.
Like you said, your mom comes to you, and that's why I go to my son.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, really anybody in my family, because I'm the guy for that. But I understand it, And another thing about what we do is when we do send over a purchase agreement, it's company policy. I don't just send it out. You can have whoever you like look at it, but when I send it out, I go over it with you over the phone. I can go over it with you and your son, explain every line in there, and it's a one pager. It's nothing crazy. It's a one pager. It takes about, less than 10 minutes, about 6 or 7 minutes. And that way, this is what we're offering and everything's laid out and is made plain and simple. And so I'll be able to go over that with you and your son once, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But when we do, I'll be able to go over that with you. What I would like to do is get this information over to my underwriters just to see what we can do and then give you a call back, preferably when your son's on the line. So that way we can probably get you all over a purchase agreement and things like that. Let me ask you this. What my underwriters, they may say is we need to get in the property to take a look at it. Do you have some availability where we could have one of our purchase specialists go over maybe this week or maybe next week or something like that?
I'm not going to make any decision until my son get back, and then we'll decide.
Okay.
I have to go by his schedule because he like today he came over to do the walkthrough with Josh and whoever. So I have to see what his schedule is like.
Okay.
That's why I was saying I have to wait till he get back from out of town.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why you give me a call back next week. Just give me a call back next week.
Okay, perfect.
And,
I can.
But could you just send me a text explaining to me who you really are? Because by next week I'll be on forgot who I even talked to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll send you over, and I'll send you over some information. I think we could send over our website and a little bit more information, and I'll send you obviously my name. And this number that I'm calling you on here is my direct line, so you can call me or text me anytime here at this number.
This is a Tennessee or Kentucky number.
It's a Tennessee number. I'm from Tennessee. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My son used to live in Murfreesboro.
I live in Murfreesboro. That's where I live. That's crazy.
Oh, okay. I used to come there a lot. We used to come to Murfreesboro and Antioch.
Yeah. You know the area for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I have two sons live here. And one of my sons live in Hatesville, one live in Lithonia.
Okay. Gotcha. And so the other one, or the one that he'll be back mid next week. So I can, we can talk.
My other son, he be working and he couldn't take off. He just can't be taken off,
Right.
So he be working. So my oldest son doing that, helping me take care of everything.
Okay. Well, that's what I'll do is I'll send you over some information today. And then I'll circle back with you, like you said, next week. So that way we can set up a time to talk and we can go over that. But in the meantime, I'll send this information over to my underwriters just to see what they think. And when we talk again, I can let you know where we're at. Does that sound okay?
Okay, then. All right, then. That sounds good.
Okay. Well, Ruby, again, my name is Cordero, and I'll send that information over when I send it over to you today. But thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate talking to you.
Okay, then. All right. Thanks. You have a great evening.
Okay. You too. Bye.
Dang, that's pretty good, man. Somebody who definitely gonna sell, so can't beat that. You can't beat somebody who definitely gonna sell.
A couple things is, one, I didn't go deep off into talking about price and going in that back and forth. You see, she hit me with actually, my son is a decision. Like, boom. If I'd have started talking about price right there, she'd have been like, well, my son, we got to wait on my son. And you really don't want to give a seller a number until they're ready to commit. She's going to sell, but she's not necessarily ready to commit to an actual agreement right away until her son is there. And so that's why you ask about the decision makers earlier on in the process. And you notice if you
son got a mind of his own.
Yeah. If you notice, it was like a small miscommunication, which happens sometimes when you say, are you the only decision maker? Sometimes they think, are you the only person on the paperwork? And you just got to be clear that happens. You see how she thought I meant who's on the paperwork, but then she comes back and say, well, actually, my son is going to help me. But let them know when you say decision maker, not just who's on the paperwork. Ultimately, it's your decision at the end of the day, Ruby, but who going to help you make the decision? Because I need to get them on the phone. And I'd rather have a conversation with the son and the mom right there. That makes just your handling objections and talking to them a lot easier. But I didn't, set up a time to call back next week with the son. Also, too, y'all saw me talk about going negative. Going negative was when I was just like, okay, so, have you thought about just keeping it as a rental? You don't owe any money on it. That's going negative. That's going in the opposite direction, because then she could say, oh, no, I'm selling it. I'm getting rid of it. And like Byron said, this is somebody who's going to sell. So, Byron, when you run into a seller who is going to sell, what does that tell you? What does that mean about this person?
Man, that mean I need to get an offer.
Yeah, exactly. This is a deal you can work. I think somebody asked us, what was it yesterday? Like, how do we, when somebody raises their hand, what's the process? This is somebody raising their hand. Well, this was essentially, she raised her hand to our lead manager. And now she's like, I'm calling her back just to see where she at. But she's saying, oh, I'm going to sell. She's talking to realtors, having people come over there, look at it, and this and that, and this and that. This is a hand raised. So we just need to get him official offer. And this is somebody we can work. She's talking. What did you send me? That was about, I thought you sent me over like a comp or something. I see.
Oh, nah.
So what do you think about the price? I think she said claims such, oh boy, said no less than 275. That's what she said. Josh realtor 275.
Said no less than 275.
That's what he talking about listing it at.
Okay, yeah. Maybe.
But she said she ain't got no floors in the master bedroom.
He's trying to shoot high. But I think she thinking like, hey, I want to go ahead and get rid of this.
I think she thinking that, and then Justin came out there thinking, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot high. One of them real estate agents that offer their seller the moon, and then list it, price cut, price cut, price cut, price cut. It's like, dude,
Sold, and I got my commission.
hey, man, some of the realtors don't, if you're a wholesaler, if you're a new wholesaler, whatever, don't let realtors give you this impression that realtors are the most professional, respectful people. Some of them are sleazy. Some of them are sleazy. Boy. You know that, man. Some of them are. I'm just Jay Black. I'm just starting wholesale real estate. So seeing young fellas as myself already successful is motivating. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's some people out here crushing it for sure. We just come here, just show people that can get done, answer questions that y'all have, man. Encourage you to take action. So, but yeah, man, I think the call went well, man. I think that obviously you didn't have all the decision makers on the phone, which makes the call a little less effective. You know what I'm saying? You weren't gonna be able to move forward. But you could gather information on the situation. She's definitely gonna sell it. She's definitely want to move. She definitely want to sell it as is. She definitely want to do something within the next 30 days. Maybe you could have asked her, like, okay, if you sell this, do you have a place to move to?
I do.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, get an understanding of how is this move gonna happen for her? Like,
I'm pretty sure
do you want to sit, like, are you ready to get out of there in 30 days? Like, have you started packing? You see what I'm saying? It's like, if you're get out here in 30 days, it's like, you better know where you're going. And you better be then, you about to have to, you got to pack some stuff up. You got to get ready to go. And then, like, will you need time at the closing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, what are you going to need with this closing? Like, how are you really going to need, like, how is the situation going to work out the absolute best for you? You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that Keith Everett talked about. It's like, hey, with this transaction, however this is going to happen, how would this work out perfectly for you? Like, how are you going to feel most comfortable with the transition? You're going to live with somebody in Alabama, you sell in 30 days, we give you the price you want. Or, if price is taken out of the picture, how does it feel for you? Do you want people come walking in your house, doing showings? Do you, how do you want it to happen?
Yeah, that's big, because it's getting their mind on sold. It's putting them mentally in future. The property's already sold. I'm here, and it's getting their mouth watering for it. It's just like if you was like, man, I'm hungry. I was like, well, how would you want a burger? You want fries? Now you really thinking about that meal that you about to eat.
The thing is, if I told you, Cordero, was like, hey, you hungry, man? Yeah, I'm hungry. What would be the perfect meal for you right now? You see what I'm saying? If you describe your perfect meal, you know what I'm saying? If you describe your perfect meal, now say, hey, I got it right here for $500. I mean, for $50. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes you think I might be willing to pay. You know what I'm saying? I might be willing to go further because this person's giving me what I want. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, hey, Ruby, if we're able to do this for you, you know what I'm saying? It's like all this stuff that you want. You know what I'm saying? We're able to make your dream become a reality right here. Will you swallow this 200 pill?
Take a dose of that 200. But yeah, I was doing that slightly. But I'm thinking about another call earlier where I actually did go a lot more in depth. So I'm like, are you going to be, I think I may have asked her, like, are you going to be renting? And she talked about like the condos and stuff on the beach, but I didn't go off into even more, like you can ask deeper probing questions in that direction. She said, they got some condos in Alabama. I want to be here. And that's what I also was doing, was just like, how would that make you feel? What's the biggest reason why you want to sell? You tell me. I'll getting to be around my family. and being with my sisters and spending time with them, because I'm single, I'm living by myself here, I want to be there. Well, we could do that for you. But yeah, I mean, like what Byron's talking about is very like more important, because it's taking that and then going a step further with letting them paint the picture. And I always say, for a lot of things, it's not about you telling the seller. It's you, even if you know it, it's you got to figure out a way to get the seller to tell you. The same, that's what going negative was. For example, I'm gonna give you a small example of how this works. Instead of saying, well, you want to sell this property, I know you want to sell it. This is something you want to do. I know you want to sell it. You don't even want to keep it. You don't, nah. I'm gonna say, well, have you thought about renting it out? And what was her response? It was, oh no, I know I'm gonna sell this. I'm letting it go. I ain't trying to deal with that. Oh no. And her telling me, that's the same thing as Byron asking me, what's you hungry? What's your idea of the perfect meal? And get them to tell you. That's a more powerful strategy than just telling them, which even if it's something you already know, because it's getting them to start working up in their mind. But I could have, and I'll probably do this on the next call, especially when I got her son there, because the son could, like Byron said, son could have his mind of his own. He could have his own intentions. Well, we need to get this and this. And then the son could be more analytical. I could deal with him from an analytical perspective and then talk with her like, oh, I know you want to get this, but, do you want to close in these next couple of days? You need some time. Honestly, that whole time after closing thing, I've been holding that off. I ain't been, I'll hold that back the same way I hold back closing costs nowadays. Like, I don't just.
I mean, what I usually do is say, hey, I asked him that. And I always let them know, hey, that's something that could possibly get approved. I don't know if we can be able to do it, but I want to, kind of have a feel for what you're needing.
Yeah, I've been keeping that in the tucked.
Because the thing is, it's like I kind of throw it out there as a possibility, because like the next joker call, he may go ahead and tell them that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh dang, this person over here, is saying that they might be able to do this. You see what I'm saying? This person here said, and then, that might be something that's brewing for them that you ain't even bring it up. You know what I'm saying? That might be part of their decision making that you ain't even talking about. You see what I'm saying? Even though you could do it, and but you never said anything about it.
Yeah.
Only thing they know is what you're telling them. You know what I'm saying? They don't know of any other options that you have if you hadn't told them.
Yeah, that's true, man.
It's like, dude, that's why I like to bring stuff up a little bit, but I always make it seem like, hey, this is something that got to be approved. Like, this is something that I don't know if this is something we can do. And that's why I always ask them, like, how would it end for you? Are you going to need any time at the close? I don't know if that's anything that we can do, but, that's something I can work on trying to get approved for you. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to know everything that they're looking for, and it helps me identify what buyer I'm going to need. You see what I'm saying? What buyer I'm going to need to target. Hey, will I need to take this down? You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, I'm going to need some time after closing in order to make this move. Now, this situation is different. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like the price point now that I'm thinking about is different.
Yeah, that's being.
Yeah. So it kind of changes a little bit. That's why I'm thinking about all that stuff. That's what I'm thinking about. You know what I'm saying? And servicing, just right. Because the old lady, where's she about to go?
Alabama.
That's what I'm saying.
No, she said she
wanted to buy a property in Alabama. Like, I want to go ahead and buy my property in Alabama before I close on this property. Okay, now you know it ain't about to happen in 30 days.
Yeah.
So it's just, but anyways, you deal with that later on, because she.
Yeah, I didn't go too much in depth. I forgot to ask her about the HOA, I think. But regardless, I didn't go too much in depth, because obviously she acting like, call me back next week. We'll be able to really talk when my son get there. But I was really trying to feel her out. And she was also one of them sellers, if you notice, when I can't finish the sentence with her. Like, you can't really finish a thought with her, I guess I should say. It's not like she's going to let me do this, which is good. You want the seller talking more. Man, shout out to Keith on.
Big K, baby, up in the building.
you want the seller talking more than you are, but she was the one like before I. So, we can purchase the property as, yeah. And that's why I got my friends in real estate. I'm like, okay. Let her get the idea out. And, and so this is what I talk about when I tell people. It's like when you call a person, it's not always on that first call like that you getting them locked up like that. That's not always how it works. Sometimes it's calling them to introduce yourself and to establish what they need, and then to kind of regroup and see, well, man, maybe I should have said this, or I should do this or that or this or that. And that's why I always let them know, as okay, I'm going to get this over to my underwriters, and I set the expectation that they're going to let me know what we can do or what we might need. If we need to go walk it, if we need to go do this or that or this or that, and I'll be able to give you a call back. Does that sound okay? Just to see where we're at. And she's obviously not ready. And I would really like to, like, that was less of a call me I've been trying to get a hold of this lady since last week too. But when the son get on the phone, then we could talk numbers. And that's usually when I bring in also too, I think that might have been what it was. Cause that's usually when I get to talking the numbers, that's when I bring in all the data that I've collected. So I know you want to get back with your family, and I know you've stressed for sure that selling the property as is very important to you. And we're not going to, if we can purchase the property as is, we could give you enough time. We could be flexible, and we can make sure you get home to your, closer to your family, and we can offer you the time that you may need. What do we need to come in at, or, what price point do we need to be in to go ahead and close and move forward for you? And she going, or whatever.
I'm betting that son is the one that want to list the property and get the most money for it. I bet he's like, the son gonna be one to list the property. I believe. That's what I think.
Okay, but notice what she said about the HVAC. Oh, it gets served. She skipped when a seller skips over. When you ask them about the HVAC and they try to skip over it and they don't give you a straight answer, the HVAC need to be replaced. Or they'll be like, oh, they come out to service it they just sent, somebody came out to fix it. It needs replaced. You know what I mean? Point blank period. It need a new HVAC. She said it don't got no floors in the master bedroom or the bonus room. What if it needs some work? He talking about. So we can see what we can do. Get her an offer. Let her know what we can do, and then I'll let her know. Like Byron said, if you need time,
if she's trying to sell it as is, it's like, why is the agent here? You see what I'm saying?
The son, because what you said, the son told her.
Son want to get this property sold, for the high. It's like, does she really want people walking through the house? Son don't care. Son like, Mom, you sure this house? Son don't care.
But why did she say that Josh dude was like an up and coming? She got to do some research on him. He started his own business. Is he the broker? Does he work for some like innocuous brokerage that nobody ever heard of? Why did she say that? That's what I'm like.
I don't know, dude. That was kind of strange.
So
that was kind of strange.
But yeah, notice again, a point as where we take our general strategy. I let her know. I didn't say, hey, I'm the buyer. I'm trying to buy your property. We work with the network of investors. I gave her that spiel. We work with the network of investors, any one of which who could finance the property. And what this allows us to do is, we can be more flexible with our closing call, we can give competitive cash offer, more flexible with our timeline. And so when do you need to close or whatever? And I paint it as a bonus. But again, she was that type of person. Wouldn't let me get, a whole thought out, but still, that's the overall strategy. So you see how I worked that into the actual conversation, just to kind of see where she was at. And she talking about somebody that came out there to look at it and all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, you connected with somebody who looking at them.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you think the buyers will be interested for this property in that area? I don't
know, man. I think we got
1,500 square feet.
I mean, I think you might be able to get somebody around 220, maybe.
Let's say.
I think you gotta get her in the low 200s, which is gonna be interesting. I think you gotta get her around 200, 210.
See, I see, and it depends because on well, that was 11 months ago. Let's say
Yeah, and a whole bunch sold that looked like her property in that area in the last
this
6 months.
this might have a HOA.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't matter, but I mean, it kind of matters, but it really doesn't matter that much. I don't think it's going to be a big factor though. That side of town don't seem is not a big HOA side of town. So
I think
maybe you don't have a HOA. I mean, but we'll see. I think we'll still be good. But because I saw some people buying that neighborhood. I was looking at it. A couple of different buyers that we work with bought in that neighborhood, but that was last year, so
yeah.
that was a lot different. Yeah, it was a lot different, but I think it was a good call for sure.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned next week to see how that call goes.
Do we got anybody else we can call?
Yeah.
I was over there trying to find somebody, man. Let me call her real quick.
See, Alvin, but he's kind of further along in the process anyway.
Yeah, Alvin is kind of further along.
Like Alvin is like we didn't get Alvin the first time we talked, but the way it's working, Alvin, Everett, I think these are some guys we gotta talk to them, go back and forth a little bit, but I think these folks is going down. Meet me in the mall. It's going down.
Maybe we should, yeah, man. We're gonna get back on here tomorrow though and do some more of this, man. We probably just gonna sit here and just call people the whole time tomorrow. We'll come with a group of people that we just gonna call, just hit them.
I mean, I gotta call this other. There's another dude named Alvin, but another lady named Paula. She didn't answer for me over the weekend.
I wish they could have heard that call you did earlier with old buddy.
Which one? Which one?
Your realtor friend.
Hey. Just let me know. I'm gonna let y'all know now. Some realtors are sleazy, dog. Straight up sleazeballs. I'm like, what? Can't believe he told me that.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. But
some are good though. Like Karita said, a realtor can be your best friend or your worst enemy. They can make or break your company.
Because people trust them, and some of them ain't to be trusted.
And some, shoot, crazy, man.
Yeah, but
see if Paula answer.
Hello, and thank you for calling. I'm unavailable to take your call at the moment, but please.
She didn't answer. No answer. I mean,
but shoot, man, we've been on this thing, what, 40, 50 minutes? Shoot, man, we about to slide off this thing on y'all, man. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to do more cold calls tomorrow, man, and just sit there and just call people so y'all can hear how to talk to sellers, man. I think that's going to be a big thing. And then kind of go through and talk about the process after we get done talking to sellers, man. So, but shoot, man, appreciate y'all coming through. Everybody who came through, where the property at. It's in Riverdale. It's in Riverdale, Georgia. So appreciate y'all coming through, man. Mika, Keithon, the Godfather, Jay Black, Ali, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. We'll be back tomorrow to do it again, man. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.